Good afternoon. My name is Kumi-Diaka, and today my team members and I will be discussing IT outsourcing models with cloud computing. I will begin with an overview or an executive summary of our topic, cloud computing and IT outsourcing. According to Oshri et al., cloud computing is defined as a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. For example, networks, servers, storage, application, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Cloud-based IT outsourcing is delivered through the provision of cloud or cloud computing services such as platforms, applications, and IT resources. Market trends. The global market value of the ITO industry was $526.6 billion US in 2021, and it is projected to rise up to $682.3 billion US by 2027. Cloud computing also continues to grow along with the ITO industry. As shown on the graph to the bottom left, cloud spending is expected to account for 14.2% of the worldwide enterprise IT expenditure in 2024, up from 9.1% in 2020. COVID-19 has also pushed more companies towards the cloud. Data from a 2020 Gartner survey revealed that 70% of companies that were using cloud services in 2020 stated they would enlarge their cloud expenditures in the face of the turbulence brought on by COVID-19. The substantial growth that is set to occur in the ITO industry will provide more opportunity for continued cloud expansion. Benefits, pitfalls, and managerial considerations. Managers face the task of crafting their company's ITO strategies. As more and more managers consider cloud computing outsourcing as part of their ITO strategies, they must leverage the benefits, such as affordability, speed, and flexibility, understand and mitigate the risks, such as breaches and data leaks, and stay on pace with the growing capabilities of cloud computing and determine the most effective ways to utilize cloud computing outsourcing in their ITO strategies. We utilize qualitative and quantitative data in our report to help our audience gain a more thorough understanding of the dynamics involved with cloud-based IT outsourcing, the advantages, the drawbacks, and the opportunity it holds. In today's presentation, Matthew will give a more in-depth introduction to our topic and also compare on-premises versus cloud outsourcing. Amarnath will go over the various cloud outsourcing models. Sarabia, will cover the benefits of cloud computing IT outsourcing, and Nick will discuss risk and security concerns and close the presentation with a summarizing conclusion.
Thanks for that executive summary. Hi, my name's Matthew Refsnyder. Information technology operations encompass the delivery of corporate digital services to employees of a business. This includes everything from deploying desktops and monitors to developing internal software applications. As organizations grow, their ITO needs become increasingly complex and expensive to maintain and support. Cloud computing has become the prime disruptive technology since the beginning of the 21st century. The rate of adoption is staggering and has caused a fundamental shift in how IT services are delivered, moving from expensive servers either on the business's premises or co-located in a data center to cloud-first delivery that, depending on the model chosen, removes much of the system administration. In fact, the state of cloud-driven adoption, which was a study done by the Harvard Business Review Analytics Services in 2020, stated that 69% of survey respondents say that 60% or more of their organization's infrastructure and applications will be in the cloud in 2 years. So we'll be discussing the following topics in this paper: the difference between on-premises and cloud outsourcing, the various cloud outsourcing models, the benefits of cloud computing, the risk and security concerns, and we'll end with a short conclusion. The overarching focus is on the types of cloud computing outsourcing and how they compare with traditional on-premises outsourcing models and best practices. Cloud computing represents the physical culmination of an original goal of early technology pioneers and stakeholders. that of truly distributed networks providing secure access to powerful resources on demand at any time. From university campuses and military installations to our homes and workplaces, cloud computing is beginning to become the new standard in how we consume computing resources. Information technology outsourcing has normally included heavy upfront investments in hardware and licensing paired with a lengthy onboarding process. Each managed service provider has their own proprietary solutions for data storage, computing, networking, and security, and standardizing the technology stack across clients is crucial for efficient support. Clients would then typically be charged for licenses to access various management systems such as incident tracking, email, and disaster recovery applications. These costs, either first time or switching, could be a prohibitive hurdle for many businesses, especially small and medium enterprises, to move forward with outsourcing initiatives. Service providers also needed elevated access into client systems with administrative rights and permissions. This meant that an extremely high level of trust needed to be extended solely from the client to the provider. Intellectual property and trade secrets would need to be exposed to at least some senior employees of an MSP to facilitate effective management. Research on the concept of vendor legitimacy has risen in importance to provide actionable data to firms considering outsourcing. The rapid and unexpected rise of cloud computing has changed the dynamics of IT operations, and clients are becoming more strategic in their outsourcing goals. Services and their management are now abstracted away from the on-premises or co-located hardware IT staff were required to maintain. The shared responsibility model defines the relationship between the cloud service provider and the client when using the different models of cloud outsourcing that will actually be reviewed in the next section. Systems designed to utilize models with lower administrative overhead simplify the total operational effort and reduce costs. Many of the systems that were formerly adopted and supported by IT staff members may now actually be replaced by third-party cloud applications and infrastructures that don't require the support of internal IT staff at all. That's from Cusack and Adedekun. And they also go on to state that a business may theoretically need to maintain little or no IT infrastructure or end-user support at all with cloud. This just shows that cloud services have matured to a point that architects can design and deploy a cloud-native system and then pass management to the actual provider, replacing any in-house or third-party support. Shifting administration and management up to the platform provider leverages their expertise and lowers labor outsourcing costs.
Hi, my name is Amarnath, and I'm here to present to you about cloud outsourcing models. Many small, mid-sized, and large businesses are turning to cloud outsourcing models to cut costs, improve services, and concentrate on their core capabilities. The process of a firm transferring a certain function to an external entity is referred to as outsourcing. For example, most organizations that were initially skeptical have since implemented computer outsourcing strategies to strengthen and increase their competitiveness in the developing industry. Many firms turn to outsource methods in order to gain access to technology specialists while also lowering expenses. I'll talk about the many cloud outsourcing methods that may be used by a company. The first is software as a service, which is condensed product managed by a cloud service provider. It provides a variety of application software and databases that businesses may access over the internet. The cloud provider is in charge of administrating the platforms and infrastructure that run the apps that are being used. The users may access the program at any time because it is installed and updated on the cloud. It relieves the organization of the burden of software maintenance as well as the necessity to install and maintain the software because the supplier handles everything. The second is platform as a service, which is a subset of software as a service and is constructed similarly to the infrastructure as the service concept. Under this approach, the vendors entitled to assist organizations with data management, web servers, and operating system. It allows users to build and distribute applications in a cloud-based environment. All of these elements combine to provide an environment in which clients may design, assemble, and execute their web products without having to invest in hardware or software. Infrastructure as a service is the third model. It is the most adaptable model, outlining the necessary infrastructure and resources. The concept allows users to manage computer resources on the website in a variety of ways. It mostly entails hosting several virtual and physical devices in the data center. As a result, service providers are forced to continually deliver resources on demand as needed by clients. This means that companies will be responsible for the cost of the resources they use. Virtual private servers, networks, and private facilities are only a few examples of such services. Infrastructure as a service is a suitable match for new businesses that may lack the resources to build up their networks. Finally, unified communication as a service is a popular approach that allows users to communicate and collaborate with remote services over the cloud network. It has a higher level of security and it is more dependable. As a result, it enables remote workers to work in a more secure and virtualized cloud environment. Working from home is becoming the new normal, and digitalized workplaces are the way of the future for small, medium, and large businesses. As a result, businesses are turned to unified communication as a service to keep their staff connected as they operate in multiple locations. Thank you.
Moving on to the benefits of cloud computing IT outsourcing. One of the biggest benefits is reduced costs. Cloud computing requires a substantial amount of hardware along with software and other resources. Through outsourcing cloud computing, companies don't have to take on these pricey capital expenditures. Companies also don't have to update equipment or add equipment as more capacity is needed, and they don't have to take on maintenance costs. Since cloud-based IT services operate on a pay-as-needed basis, companies can minimize the instances of spending money on resources they end up not using. Also, the professional services like data recovery and security provided by cloud computing vendors can help firms avoid breaches, hacks, and downtime and the costs they bring. Availability. Because cloud computing services are provided through the internet, they can be accessed and used 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days per year. Accessibility. Because the cloud is built on an abstract or non-concrete infrastructure, applications are not contained within specific devices or locations. This means that cloud computing vendors can supply services worldwide, and users can access cloud services from any place and with any capable device. The infrastructure that cloud computing is built on is complex, but usage of cloud services is simple for users and doesn't require in-depth technical knowledge or expertise. Scalability. The scalability attribute of cloud computing gives companies the ability to add or remove hardware capacity, servers, storage, CPUs, software license, or network bandwidth easily and quickly. Firms can scale up when more resources are needed without taking on the additional cost of acquiring, update, and maintaining cloud computing hardware and software. They can also scale down as resources are no longer required without suffering the losses from unused or outdated cloud computing equipment. Agility. Agility is when a business is flexible and can quickly respond to change. Scalability makes businesses more agile because they can scale up or scale down quickly, cost-effectively, and efficiently. Agility is key in staying competitive, particularly in today's fast-moving, continuously changing business environment.
Next, we are going to talk about risks and security that come with outsourcing cloud-based business services. The threats involved in migrating business data to the cloud are ever evolving, which makes a culmination of many security risks that come with this. The first one that we're going to talk about is trust. There is sometimes a lack of transparency surrounding cloud services, and it can make it difficult for consumers to make a sound business choice when choosing what company to outsource with. As a result, consumer trust has become a major impediment to cloud computing adoption. Another one is malware infections. Because the cloud is run online, it is easier for malware to come and infect certain data. A specific malware infection that happens is DOS attacks. DOS attacks, or the same thing as denial of service, can lock a user out of their cloud-based services. An example of a company that runs 24/7, anytime, anywhere, are the airlines. They use cloud computing to take track of things such as bags, flights, pilots, crew, gasoline, as well as where their passengers are and how they're booking their tickets. When these power outages happen and the computer systems go down, it cripples the airline and the business itself. Just last year, American Airlines and Southwest both independently had computer outages, which ended up shutting down the airline for the day and halting all new flights because they could not access the data that they needed to know where to position bags, passengers, tickets, and flights. Cloud-based computing has become an integral part of many businesses around the world. Information technology outsourcing, ITO, is a practice where companies hire individuals outside their organization to perform their IT operations. This sector has grown tremendously for the main reason of it saves time and money, something very critical to running a business. There's many benefits of outsourcing cloud technology, such as the availability, accessibility, scalability, and agility that the cloud network allows companies to have. Fortunately for cloud computing, risks have been vastly mitigated in recent times. Security has become better, which has allowed customers to have more peace of mind when using and putting sensitive data on the cloud. Cloud computing has especially shown how fruitful it can be during the COVID-19 pandemic, as we've seen that companies and people are being able to share data anytime, anywhere. Which leads us to the question of, is it worth it to outsource cloud technologies from your business? And in most cases, it's an absolute yes. Businesses have to understand the significant impact that cloud computing has and really should consider cloud computing when structuring their ITO strategies.
These are our references. Thank you for watching our presentation.